Is fear holding you back? You're not alone in this. But guess what? Every successful dreamer felt it and kept going anyway. Today, let's learn how to turn that fear into momentum. Let's go. Are you ready? Are you? Good morning, lovely dreamers, and welcome to another video. If you're new here, hi, I'm Maya. This is Aini showing you his heart, and we are here to inspire you to dream, follow those dreams, and do whatever it takes to see them come true. So if you love improving yourself but are in need of a bestie to encourage you, welcome! I'm here for you. Well, we are here for you. And don't worry if you're scared to make friends. I'm actually scared and he's terrified. But let's learn how to be friends together anyway. If you're a dreamer like me, please consider subscribing and ringing the bell so you don't miss an update. But enough with the chit-chatting, let's get to it. Fear. That voice in your head saying, what if you fail? What if you look stupid? What if it all goes wrong? What if this is a stupid idea? Sound familiar? If fear has ever held you back from chasing your dreams, you're not alone. Look at me. I'm at the start of a new dream, a new journey, a new challenge. 2025 is the year I decided to face my biggest fears and put myself in front of the camera instead of hiding behind it as I always do. And I decided to stop hiding and go for my dreams, not just watching others on YouTube go for theirs. Why? Because every successful person and every creative mind faced fear. That's why they got to the point they are today. They didn't let fear stop them. So today, let's talk about how to move forward even when we're scared. Because guess what? Your dreams, they are worth it. So let's break this down and start with point number 1. The truth about fear and why it may not be the enemy you think. Fear is not the villain in your story. It's actually a survival mechanism. It's designed to protect you from danger. But the problem in today's world, fear doesn't just warn you about a real threat. It actually blocks you from chasing your dreams. Here's what you need to understand about fears. Fear is an alert, not a stop sign. When fear shows up, it's not always a warning to stop. It's usually a warning that you're stepping into something big, something important. Big dreams naturally trigger fear because they take you beyond what's familiar. Another point, your brain is actually wired to avoid risk. That's just how we're built. The human brain craves safety, certainty, and comfort. It doesn't care if you achieve your dreams. It just wants you to avoid discomfort. That's why you always feel some resistance when you're trying something new, even if it's actually something you deeply want. Fear also distorts reality. Ever notice how fear makes things feel 10 times worse than they actually are? Fear tells you that failure is catastrophic when it's actually a learning experience. It convinces you that people will judge you when they're actually too busy to care because they're worrying about their own lives and their own problems. It makes you think you're not ready when, guess what? No one ever feels 100% ready. But remember, fear shrinks when you face it. Fear will always be there. The more you avoid fear, the bigger it gets. But when you take action despite it, fear actually loses its power over you. But we'll get to that in a minute. Before we can do that, let's understand. Point number 2. Why fear holds you back and how others push through it. Fear shows up in different ways, but it leads to the same result. Staying stuck instead of moving towards your dreams. We often hear simplified stories of success, but the journeys of even the most successful people today are filled with challenges and self-doubt. Here are some common fears that can stop dreamers in their tracks and how these legends face them. Type number 1. Fear of failure. One of the best examples here is Stephen King. Before the novel Carrie actually got published, it was rejected about 30 times. He famously considered giving up. He actually threw the novel in the bin. But it was Tabitha, his wife, who retrieved the manuscript and encouraged him to keep going. This wasn't just about overcoming one single rejection. It was about confronting the constant fear of failure and persevering despite it. His experience highlights the importance of resilience and the power of believing in your work even if other people don't. It also shows the value of having a supportive partner. Another type of fear is the fear of judgment. Oh, here I like to think about Peter Jackson. Bringing The Lord of the Rings to the big screen was a monumental job, and he did face considerable skepticism at first. While he had a vision, many in Hollywood doubted not his vision, but his ability to execute it on such a grand scale. Concerns about the budget, the complexity, and the feasibility of the special effects were rampant. Keep in mind that this happened about 25 years ago, over 25 years ago. His journey was more than just trusting his gut. It was about navigating a complex industry, convincing powerful stakeholders, and managing a massive creative project under immense pressure. He had to balance artistic vision with practical considerations, which added another layer to the story. The third type of fear is actually the fear of success. How silly does that sound? Viola Davis is the one that comes to mind here. You might know her from this TV show. Her journey is a powerful example of overcoming not just external challenges and external factors, but internal struggles. Even as her career flourished, she wrestled with imposter syndrome and self-doubt. This wasn't just simply a fear of handling success. It was a deeper struggle with self-worth, belonging. Her story reminds us that success doesn't necessarily mean erasing the internal struggles, but that confronting those issues is a critical part of personal and professional growth. And another type of fear that some of us, or most of us, might struggle with is fear of the unknown. Jim Carrey is the one that comes to mind here. As you might know, he is one of the most recognizable faces in comedy history. However, his early life was marked by financial instability. His decision to pursue comedy was a huge risk, especially considering his family's circumstances. It wasn't just about the unknown, it was about taking a leap of faith when the stakes were high. His journey illustrates the courage it takes to pursue a dream, even if there's no safety net, and the power of using creativity as a means of coping with difficult circumstances. This brings me to the most important part. Let's learn how to turn fear into momentum. In Harry Potter, books and movies, a boggart transforms into what you fear most.
That's a boggart, that is.
Very good, Mr. Thomas.
They serve as a powerful metaphor for the nature of fear itself. They represent how fear can be shapeless, adaptable, but most of all, deeply personal. The way the wizards combat boggart by using laughter and transforming them into something silly underlines the importance of confronting your fears head on. Here's how you can do this in our world. First and foremost, identify your fear, aka name your boggart. Once you name it, you can laugh at it, and suddenly it loses its power. Fear works exactly the same way. What exactly are you afraid of? Failing, looking foolish, judgment, uncertainty, not being good enough?
Luckily, a very simple charm exists to repel a boggart.
Reframe it, aka using the Riddikulus spell. The spell to defeat a boggart is Riddikulus.
Riddikulus!
And it's turning fear into something funny, ridiculous, or powerless. You can do the exact same with your own fears by simply reframing them. Instead of saying, I'll fail and I'll embarrass myself, try saying, I'll have a great story to tell someday. Instead of, what if people judge me? Try saying, what if they're actually inspired by me? Instead of, I have no idea what I'm doing, try, every expert started somewhere. Fear shrinks when you change how you see it. Shifting your focus from catastrophe to possibility actually fuels excitement instead of paralysis. Ask yourself this: what's the best that could happen? We are wired stupidly. We're wired to actually imagine worst case scenarios. What if instead you actually asked, what if this actually works out? What if I succeed beyond my wildest dreams? What if I surprise myself? Your fear is trying to protect you from failure, but what if it's actually holding you back? from something absolutely incredible. Ever think of that? Next point, use fear as an energy source, aka casting your first spell. Fear creates adrenaline, which means it gives you energy. Instead of letting that push you into panic and panic mode, turn it into an action. Next time fear creeps in, challenge yourself to do something bold. Take the first step, even if it's tiny. Hit publish on that first blog post or video. Send that email you've been overthinking. Apply for that opportunity you keep putting off. Walk into that gym and start today. It doesn't have to be the first of, the Monday of, blah blah blah. Start today. Call that person you've been thinking about and ask them out. Think of fear like the dark. You don't have to fear it. You just have to turn on the light. Action is that light. The next point, make fear a challenge, not a stop sign. What if you treated fear like a game? Instead of letting it stop you, see how far you can push past it. How far can I go before fear tells me to quit? What happens if I take one step further? What's that one thing I can do today that scares me just a little bit? Growth happens outside your comfort zone. Remember that. This brings me to another super important thing you need to do, and that is to celebrate the challenge, not just the outcome. The fact that you did something while being afraid is actually a huge win. Every time you act despite fear, you rewire your brain to see yourself as brave, resilient, and unstoppable. You could also keep a fearless actions list or something like that in your journal to track all the moments you faced your fear and you pushed through while being afraid. Over time, you'll have proof that you are stronger than you think. Fear is not your enemy. It might actually be your biggest power source. And last but not least, please consider this. Fear is proof that you are growing. It's a sign that you're stepping into something bigger. Fear shows up when you're doing something new, meaningful, and exciting. It's not there to stop you. It's there to push you forward. So remember, keep moving. Now it's your turn, lovely dreamers. What is that one fear that you've been avoiding? What's that boggart you kept in your closet? How are you going to face it? Drop me a comment down below. I would love to cheer you on and laugh with you when that boggart is destroyed. And if you've made it to this point in our video today, you are officially a dreamer. Yay! So please, please, please drop me a butterfly emoji down in the comments below. Next up, let's talk about love, relationship, and how facing hard times together actually builds a stronger relationship. It is the month of love after all. Hope to see you there. And until next time, don't forget to dream, follow, and do.